Alright, so I owe you guys a follow-up video from the upgrades I did. I've made at least one or two more since then. I haven't really got to ride my bike yet because it's been so windy, and then work has been interfering a little bit. But anyway, I prefer to give first impressions, so I just pulled out of my garage, and the big thing I want to test out is the windshield. I'm also running the bike heavier than I've ever run it before, so I put in all my standard gear in my panniers that I'm going to carry on a daily basis, which basically includes my tire repair stuff and just all my recovery gear, the tools and whatnot. So you guys can see I've added a tack. I know I've said previously that I don't care too much for a tack, but I figure since I'm going all out with the bike, I might as well. Plus I want to be able to give some numbers, especially running at highway speeds of kind of what RPM the bike likes to run at. So GPS, I still have this Garmin Nuvia on here. I got this is actually the original one. The other one looks just like this. This one died after like a week. I guess it can't handle the vibration, so I got another one from eBay for like 25 bucks. It's just to see if I can run it like just on the street, because that's all I really care about GPS wise, really. And it has this error that's really annoying that basically says that something like you can't get updated traffic without the proper cable. And I've tried to go through the settings and didn't really find it. I haven't put too much effort into it yet, but people have been asking me for my GPS tracks. I don't really run GPS. I put this thing on. This is actually the Garmin I had, or the 4Trax, whatever it's called, from Afghanistan. And I'm pretty much a map and compass kind of guy. The only reason I want GPS on this thing is more for street stuff and kind of seeing how long it takes to get from point A to point B. But if anybody has any suggestions at, you know, a reasonable GPS, you know, I don't want to go spend like $600 on a GPS that I don't really use. But I'm open to options. Let's see, so these little extenders, just noticing, kind of maneuvering the bike around at slow speeds, they do help quite a bit, and they're pretty inexpensive. I can't remember, like 20 bucks, something like that. So, you know, it definitely made my clearance issues a lot better. So here, let me pull over real quick, just so you can kind of see what the bike idles at when it's, you know, more or less warmed up. You know, I'm running 162 degrees Fahrenheit right now. RPM stabilized 1250-ish. Now it's kind of going down, so 1150, 1220. I'm not sure how accurate that really is, but you know, it's going to be in that ballpark. So that's my idle speed. Let's wait for this car. You know, cruising on streets like this, your RPM is going to vary widely based on the rider. I tend to lug gears more than a lot of other people, so that's what, third gear right now at, you know, roughly 25 miles an hour, 2300 RPM is what I'm running. We'll talk fuel mileage. So I had said in my previous videos kind of what the numbers were. I haven't really seen them get different, but it's 38 is the worst I got, basically, and 42 is the best I got, so kind of average about 40 miles a gallon. I did read a article yesterday about a dude in SoCal that basically was looking for the max range of the bike, and he hit about 240 miles versus the 300. Now he was riding a lot in, you know, pretty austere environment. I'll ride a mix, you know, of a lot on the street and a lot off, you know, not crazy off-road, but so I find I'm getting pretty close to the same, about 40 miles a gallon, which pretty much puts me my fuel range between 230 and 250 miles. So not as much as I was hoping for, but you know, it's not bad. I mean, if you're, you know, generally speaking, you know, I don't want to plan for more than 200 without a fuel stop. which gives me 30-mile reserve, which is not much, you know, so that's kind of my max. But 200 miles on a motorcycle can be quite a long time. So there's just kind of some numbers to think about. Windshield right now, I'm doing, you know, indicated 48 miles an hour. As I said before, it's about 3 miles an hour off, so, but I'm doing 50 right now, so minus 3 from that. That's what I'm really doing. This windshield right now, definitely better than stock. However, it does not eliminate the buffeting. I feel at about eye level right now. So, I mean, you can just keep on going bigger and bigger. I don't think you're going to completely eliminate it, but so far, you know, the little bit that I've ridden this, I like this windshield a lot more than the stock one, and definitely better than those windshield risers that I had before. So yeah, here I'll ride up this little dirt road, and then I'll get back on the highway and run about 75 miles an hour so we can see what kind of RPM that we're getting. So far with the panniers and my Pelican case, the bike itself is not feeling different on this sort of stuff. I'm sure it'll feel quite different once I start getting in whoops and heavier things like that. I still want to flat track this corner, but this guy's kind of in the way. I don't think he'd appreciate that much. There's some nice houses back here, but man, this road can get really bad, and just trying to keep your vehicle clean is probably a nightmare. Oh yeah, so I have a headwind right now. So this windshield definitely is working pretty good. Alright, so just this little bit of riding on this stuff right here, I can really feel the difference in weight. So the center stand, this is the first time I've ridden with it, I actually just drug either that or my skid plate a couple times there. I kind of felt it hit the bottom. So I have my shock cranked all the way. I'm a pretty big guy, you know, carrying this extra weight. It's basically, this bike stock is not able to handle that, but good thing I have some suspension on the way. It was 4 to 6 weeks out, and I ordered it about a week ago, so I'll definitely do a video on that. Once we kind of hit that point, I'm going to be pretty close to completion of the bike without really doing anything crazy. So right now, lugging 5th gear, you know, 50-ish miles an hour. I'm doing 3,600 RPM. Temperature stable at 163 degrees. So that's at least what to expect. This center stand on is definitely give me some clearance issues combined with the extra weight of the bike. So if you plan to do a lot of crazy rock stuff, it's probably not something you want to put on there. Definitely go, you know, removable panniers. Don't put any extra weight on the bike you can, and if you want to ride in that sort of stuff, like that little Virginia City trip that I did on one of those other videos, configured the way I am right now, I can do it. I just have to go a bit slower than before, and probably still drive my bike. Alright, so I haven't really tested out the new mounts for my pegs yet, so let's see how that feels versus before. Yeah, way better. That's really good investment. Whatever they were, like 25 bucks or something like that. Just a couple bolts and washers or whatever. But yeah, it's much better. Vibration wise, I don't notice it at the moment. So yeah, I would highly recommend that upgrade. So you guys can check out my previous video. Basically has all the links for everything that I put on it, including those hard mounts. So one thing I forgot to mention is this tire pressure monitoring system. I've rode with it to work one day. It was fine. It didn't have a full charge when I rode to work, and then when I tried to turn it on just now, it was dead, so I didn't charge it last time I got back. But so far, so good on it. Pretty good investment. But let's get out on the highway and see how the windshield feels at a lot faster speeds. Alright, so let's shoot for about 75 miles an hour. Let's see. So that's about, you know, I'm doing about 75 miles an hour right now. Make sure I'm in 5th gear. Yeah, so about 5,000 RPM, 5,200 RPM, 53, like right around there. So that's the kind of RPMs you'll get cruising at these speeds. So let me drop down to about 65. I'm trying to do actual speed, not necessarily what's indicated. So 65, 4,500 RPM right there. Yeah, roughly 4,500. Let's drop down to about 55 and see what that likes to run at. So about 3,500. That's probably, yeah, 3,500. That's probably about your best range speed right there, I bet. So if you were able to cruise on, you know, smooth dirt roads at that pace, I bet you'd probably get the most range out of the bike. Cruising at the faster pace here on the highway, it's that's gonna be your worst range. All right, so windshield wise right now, I have a tailwind, so it's not too bad. But again, I just kind of feel my eye, about eye level. I do have a little bit of a, yeah, it's still tailwind. Buffeting in my head. Still, I mean, if I squat down about that much, the buffeting's basically gone. So it's somebody a little bit shorter than me. This medium-sized windshield will work out really well. But that's a major improvement over stock. So highly recommend that for sure. Yeah, it's kind of cruising the highway pace. 5,000 RPM. The temperature is running 169 right now. Nice and stable. So indicating 2 bars on my fuel, and I'm sitting at probably a little more than half a tank, so that fuel gauge is still highly inaccurate. I think my best fuel gauge is going to be my odometer. But anyway, that's the update, and we'll see you guys in the next one.